February 23, 1991. The Iraqi desert is a vast, ancient graveyard of grit and heat. But for the men of the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, the legendary Dragoons, the silence is about to be shattered. This is Operation Desert Storm. The steel wedge of the 2nd ACR is lined up at the border, ready to punch through like a freight train hitting a glass wall. Perched atop his M1A1 Abrams, a 60-ton beast forged from depleted uranium and raw horsepower, is Captain Herbert Raymond McMaster. He isn't just a commander, he's leading a stampede of armor. After weeks of sitting in the sand, sweating through chemical suits and itching for a fight, the order finally crackles over the net. Eagle 15, put on Sidewinder and make it loud. Shall we dance? The crossing isn't a crawl, it's a sprint. The American column drives deep into Iraqi territory, kicking up plumes of white dust visible from space. But as they push further, the resistance is non-existent. Forward positions are being mopped up by airstrikes, leaving Iraqi conscripts riou-rah. These men aren't interested in being martyrs for a regime that forgot to feed them. They surrender in droves, hands in the air, eyes wide with shock at the American war machine. It's a surreal sight. The 2nd ACR even runs into unarmed Iraqis wandering the dunes who actually cheer them on as the Abrams roll past. For 2 days, they maneuver unimpeded, pushing 200 kilometers into the unknown Mesopotamian void. But McMaster knows the desert. This kind of luck is a thin veil. It never lasts. Somewhere to the east, hidden behind shifting dunes, the real threat is waiting. The Tawakalna Republican Guard is dug in. These aren't the half-starved conscripts from the border. These are the loyalists, the Lion of Babylon crews who believe they are invincible. They won't quit without a bloodbath. The 2nd ACR has one mission: hunt them down and break them before they retreat. The next morning, the desert joins the fight. The weather turns to absolute trash. A massive sandstorm rolls in, killing visibility and turning the world into a hazy yellow nightmare. You can't see the hand in front of your face, let alone an enemy tank hiding in a berm. The grit gets into everything: your teeth, your eyes, and the delicate machinery of your weapons. Holy shit, what beautiful weather, someone jokes over the net. Skog, you want to go outside and take a look? McMaster asks his driver. Ah, I'm good, thanks sir. I'll stay in the box, comes the dry reply. The plan is simple on paper. Push to the 70 easting, a grid line on the map just 6 miles away. The orders are clear. Find the enemy, fix their position, then step aside. The plan is to hand the battle over to the 1st Infantry and 3rd Armored Divisions coming up behind with the heavy hammers. It's supposed to be an easy handoff. But in war, easy is just a word for things that haven't gone wrong yet. And today, everything is about to go wrong. Battle stations, battle stations. This is Black 6. The word has been given. Red 1, execute. The engines roar to life, that iconic Abrams turbine whine echoing across the dunes. I feel the need for speed. A voice cracks over the comms, a nervous movie quote. That's $5 in the drink box for the quote, soldier, McMaster barks back, keeping the mood steady. 6 M2 Bradleys from the 1st platoon surge ahead, taking point. They push into the sandstorm, a wall of metal moving into the void. McMaster hunkers down, eyes glued to his thermal sight, scanning for signatures of heat. Suddenly, the ground shakes. A series of loud explosions rock the formation. It's airburst artillery, Iraqi shells exploding in the air to rain shrapnel down. McMaster doesn't have to say a word. All on their own, the Bradleys and Abrams break formation, zigzagging and maneuvering exactly as they were trained. McMaster feels pride. His boys are acting like pros. Through the haze, buildings emerge. McMaster narrows his eyes. This village looks wrong. No farms, no livestock, no signs of civilian life. It's a military outpost, a tripwire for the Republican Guard. Village direct front, 1 round heat. The loader slams a high-explosive anti-tank shell into the breach with a satisfying metallic thunk. McMaster waits, closing the distance, looking for any sign of a non-combatant. Nothing. Then, muzzle flashes erupt from the windows. Small arms fire peppers the armor like hailstones on a tin roof. Fire! Fire! McMaster's Abrams barks first. The round detonates, reducing the building to a pile of rubble. That impact marks the target for everyone else. 9 Abrams tanks fire in unison. A deafening blast that turns the outpost into a cloud of dust and silences the enemy in seconds. The outpost is gone, but the hornet's nest is stirred. On the edge of the formation, Bradley's Eagle 13 and 16 spot 2 Iraqi T-72s sitting in ambush. The vehicle commanders feel a chill. Why are they still? I don't think they see us, someone whispers. They are right. In the howling sandstorm, the Iraqis are blind. They are peering through glass windows covered in grit, trying to see through a wall of sand. But the Americans have the thermal edge. They see the heat of the Iraqi engines glowing like miniature suns on their monitors. The Bradley turrets spin with electric precision. Tau anti-tank missiles are ready. A missile streaks out, pulling its guidance wire. In the thermal sight, it looks like a lick of flame hanging in the air. Then, impact. The T-72 detonates with terrifying force. The internal ammunition cooks off, and the turret flips into the air like a bottle cap. The second Bradley fires, and the second Iraqi crew meets the same fate before they can even traverse their gun. I remember thinking, how can a piece of metal burn like that? One scout recalls later. Eagle Troop resumes the advance, leaving the charred, stinking wrecks behind. They are close now. The 70 Easting is right in front of them, and the air is thick with the smell of diesel and death. McMaster can feel the tension in the turret. Every man is on edge, fingers hovering over triggers, eyes straining against the green glow of the thermal sights. They are no longer just scouting, they are hunting. McMaster senses the main line is just over the next rise. He can feel it in his gut. Red One, this is Black 6, swapping the lead, changing to tank lead. The Bradleys slow down, letting the heavily armored Abrams tanks take the point. They reach the 70 Easting, the line they were supposed to stop at. But there, a small crest, a ridge, blocks the view ahead. McMaster doesn't wait for orders. He knows that in a meeting engagement, whoever takes the high ground first wins. He pushes his Abrams over the crest. The thermal sight reveals a tanker's worst nightmare. As the tank crests the ridge, dozens of heat signatures pop up. It's not a scout unit. It's a wall of dug-in armor, T-72s, BMPs, and infantry trenches, all facing west, right at them. The no-engagement plan is dead. You don't step aside when you're staring down the throat of an entire Republican Guard brigade. Fire! Fire! Sabo! Heat already loaded! The crosshairs land on a T-72 at 1.4 kilometers. The Abrams fires the first shot of what history would call the Battle of 73 Easting. The Iraqis are shocked. They had no idea American tanks were rolling over them from a few hundred meters away. It's pure chaos. Iraqi crews scramble for their tanks, some jumping into trenches, others fleeing to the rear. Up! Fire! The APF-SDS round, a depleted uranium dart, leaves the barrel at 1,575 meters per second. It cuts through Iraqi armor like a hot knife through butter, the friction alone turning the interior of the tank into a furnace. One by one, the Iraqi ghosts are silenced by the precision of American steel. The desert explodes into a lock of sand, smoke, and fire. McMaster's driver, Christopher Skog, watches muzzle flashes through his periscope as they drive into the teeth of the kill zone. A round slams into the earth right next to their fender, throwing a wall of dirt over the hull. Black 6! Black 6! Are you hit? The net screams as the radio fills with frantic voices. Skog spots another T-72 emerging from the dust and jerks the tank hard to the left to give the gunner a better angle. The sudden move, combined with the uneven terrain, throws everyone inside. McMaster hits his head on the edge of the coupler, dazing him. The radio is calling for him, but he's silent, shaking the cobwebs out of his brain. On the net, his XO, Red One, assumes the worst. This is Red One. Black 6 is down. I'm taking over. Follow my lead. Skog yells into the intercom. Sir, get up on the net. Red One just took over. McMaster snaps back to reality and keys the mic. This is Black 6. We're alive. I'm retaking command. All units, keep the pressure on. Behind them, the Bradleys are hosing down trenches with 25mm cannons. Driver Matt Lee steers his Bradley inches from an Iraqi soldier who is completely disoriented by the storm and the shockwaves. Lee makes a split-second call. The man is no threat. He swerves and rolls on, sparing a life in the middle of a massacre. This is the duality of combat. Absolute violence and sudden, unexpected mercy. The fighting is getting desperate. Bradleys engage a ZSU-23-4 Shilka anti-aircraft gun hidden in a bunker. They have to stop to fire Tau missiles, a dangerous move. Eagle 31 comes to a halt while staring down the barrel of a reloading T-72. The American gunner fires first, blowing the tank to hell just fractions of a second before the Iraqi could pull the trigger. Then there's Eagle 36, commanded by Michael Tribble. They've burned through their missiles and are stuck in a hornet's nest. They need more Taus now. Tribble doesn't hesitate. He climbs out onto the deck, exposed, while rifle bullets hiss past his head. He hears the clang of metal hitting the armor and the crack of rounds passing inches from his ears. He ignores it all, discarding spent casings and mounting new tubes. A single slip-up means death. He finishes, dives back in, and shouts, "Done! Go! Go!" McMaster pushes his troop further, finding the Iraqi reserves. 17 tanks parked in a circle, caught completely off guard. They were hit so fast they didn't even have time to start their engines. McMaster sees an Iraqi commander looking over his shoulder with an expression of pure, naked horror as the Abrams barrels down. Fire! In just 1 minute, all 17 T-72s are reduced to burning scrap metal. The air is thick with the oily black smoke of burning diesel and the smell of ozone. The dominant force on the field is no longer the storm. It is Eagle Troop. The battle is over as quickly as it began. The roar of the cannons fades into the howling of the sandstorm. McMaster gets on the radio, his voice tight, asking the one question every commander dreads. How many casualties? The response comes back, clear and unbelievable. No casualties to report. Repeat, no casualties. In just 23 minutes, a scouting force that wasn't even supposed to engage the enemy had destroyed 50 T-72s, 25 armored personnel carriers, and 40 trucks. They had crushed an elite Republican Guard division without losing a single man. This is the legend of 73 Easting, a masterpiece of armored warfare, and a story of pure, unadulterated grit. Captain McMaster would be awarded the Silver Star for his actions. He is still alive today, a living testament to the power of training, technology, and bravery. As the sun begins to set through the haze, the men of Eagle Troop sit in their silent tanks, the engines ticking as they cool. They look out over a landscape littered with the remains of a once proud army. They were just a small part of a massive machine, but in those moments, they were the center of the world. They had looked into the abyss, and the abyss had blinked.